Hey gang, John Baccarelli here with your Lake St. Clair Ice Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. It is Friday the 13th, and yeah, I hate that, but I'm not worried about it. So Friday the 13th, December 13th, I guess I should say. This is a hot off the lake or cold off the lake ice report, however you want to look at it. Just got back from driving the whole lakeshore, started out at sunrise. Let's talk about the weather really quick first, because I know there's going to be a lot of naysayers out there and so forth. Looking at the weather forecast, we've got another 36 hours of really good ice making temps ahead of us before we hit the next warm up and some rain. So what that means is, even though I was not able to, or didn't even really try to get on the ice, I wanted to do this fast today. The ice is going to get thicker over the next 36 hours. Should be significantly thicker. So let's start with that. So the weather forecast is got it warming up for like 3 days technically, and then we got another cold shot coming. We've got a little bit of wind. Most of it is onshore for the next 3-4 days, and we don't get an offshore wind that would take the ice away until when that cold front starts to move back in after like day 4. So we got that out of the way, and I'll probably bring that up as we continue on. So starting out with the ice report up on the north end of the lake, up by the raft. So in Fairhaven area, that is all locked up right now. And when I was up there checking it out, it's like that. It's the typical fashion that normally freezes up there. Ice blew in, not real bad though, like it has in previous years. It was kind of, not real bad. I mean, it was just pieces of ice and a little bit of frothy stuff in between the chunks. But that's froze up, and it's froze up pretty much as far as you can see out in front of the raft. I ran into to Trevor and Art while I was up there. They had already checked the ice, and they were getting ready to try to get on the ice and then work their way over to one of the local marinas. But they were going out. So, and they had said they had already checked it and they could get on it. So I'm not going to talk about thicknesses because as of right now, I really didn't have time to check thicknesses. It's all pretty new ice. It literally just froze last night. So then I stopped at Bobby Mac's to get a little broader view, looking out from there. The ice is quite a bit smoother there. It's mostly just kegs of ice that are kind of locked together. But again, a lot of ice out there, at least several hundred yards of ice. I think there was some open water further out, but it was really hard to tell because things were really calm and everything was starting to lock up in that area. So if it wasn't frozen, it had that kind of jello-y look to it, and it was trying to freeze because temps this morning were about 12 degrees when I was out there running around. So that's the deal up on that north end. A lot of that, it's only going to get thicker. I'm going to guess there's going to be quite a few guys getting on it tomorrow or even maybe later today. Bottom line is though, if you're somebody that really needs like 4 or 5 or 6 inches of ice to feel safe, this weekend is not for you because you're not going to find that. I doubt you're going to find that anywhere. You're probably going to find a couple to 3 inches, maybe 4 if you're on some of the older ice. And I should say that, I guess, that not everywhere lost all the ice in that last warm-up. Matter of fact, a lot of places, the canals kept a lot of the ice during that last warm-up. Places like the Metro Park and a lot of the canals in the area, they didn't lose the ice. They might have lost some of it. They might have lost some of it right along the edges, but they didn't lose all of it. So when we turned cold here like 48 hours ago, that stuff just got thicker and thicker and thicker, and then you had the new stuff forming around it. So you're going to find some variation out there. You're going to find brand new ice. You're going to find older ice. It's going to be up to you to use that spud and figure out which is which and which is, which you can walk on. So leaving Bobby Mac's, going back down along the shoreline, was a kind of a mixture of some open water, some frozen out all the way down until you get all the way down to Brandenburg. And then out in front of Brandenburg was frozen. I did not stop at Brandenburg and take video because that stuff out there, I'm going to guess, is not going to get thick enough to survive this next warm-up. And I doubt it's going to get thick enough for anybody to get on Saturday. So it wouldn't be one of my best picks out in that area. So I didn't shoot any video there. Next stop down is at Selfridge. Selfridge boat launch was all frozen. In the boat launch area, there was one gentleman that was out on the ice, and he was working his way back while I was there. He was on some of the older ice. Okay, that area is one of those areas that kind of was old ice and made new ice there, and stopped and talked with him, and he said that the old ice that he was on was a couple of inches thick, but the new ice he did not go on, and he was moving around. He was going to a different location to check out one of the other local canals when I was there. Now, ice formation out in front of Selfridge is like it normally is. There was a mixture out there of open water and new ice forming, and it was just kind of a mixture. If you want to go someplace right now and watch the lake freeze, that would be a good place. For some reason, that area up there just collects a little bit. Maybe collects the warmer water coming in from the channels up there or something, but that area does not freeze up as fast, and like everywhere else, it was not freezing up fast today either. So out in front of there, if it does freeze tonight, bear in mind if you're in that area tomorrow, that is going to be new ice. Okay, doesn't mean it's not going to be thick enough to walk on, but it's going to be really new ice out in front of the Selfridge boat launch area on the main lake. That canal ice was all locked up when I was there. It's only going to get thicker as it goes. That dock was still in, however, so I'm not sure if they're going to try to pull that or if they're just going to leave it in there. But there was no boats trying to launch at this point from that location. We'll continue on south. Stopped at the South River Road or Harley Ensign. That was kind of a mixture there too, which you would expect. The mouth of the Clinton River, right there by the boat launch, was frozen. The dock was frozen in, but there was a mixture of open water and ice in there. Going over to the other side of the point, looking over into the bay over there, out in front of Candles, facing the Metro Park, that was all locked up and it was frozen. So that's only going to be getting thicker in the next 36 hours as well. Now, heading back to the south, closer to the store, stopped at Lake St. Clair Metro Park, and I know a lot of you guys are waiting for this. Ice off of the day sail ramp or off of the beach, it is locked up. That blew in last night, and at some point it kind of blew in. It's that kind of cakey stuff with the frothy ice in between each keg. Not real bad though. Again, just like up at the raft, definitely not as bad as I've seen it in past years. But it is all blown in there, and it is locking up, and it is freezing. And there was ice pretty much as far as you could see out there. There really wasn't any open water until you looked way out towards the point. So that stuff, I'm going to guess that people are going to be on that tomorrow out there. How thick it's going to be, I have no idea. You got chunks of ice that blew in, and then it froze. But there's a lot of it out there, and it extends out really far and all along the lakeshore. So as far as I could see, so that is finally locked up. Still in the Metro Park, looking over at the basin area, the area that I call the basin, that was frozen as well. Black Creek was all frozen. Looking over into the marsh area. Now, that's an area that did not lose most of the ice, okay, and that last warm-up. And there was already a guy on that ice all the way back in the marsh. And on the old, I'm sure he was on the old ice, but it was all frozen. And there weren't even any swans in there, so I couldn't see any open water anywhere in that marsh area. So if you are back there, you're going to have to pay attention to the difference between the old ice and the new ice. Just like I was talking, that new ice is going to be a lot thinner than what that old ice was. And I think that's about it for the ice report. I know I blasted through that, but I know it's almost lunchtime, or is lunchtime for you guys. And, that's the ice report right now. You're going to have to check that ice yourself out there tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of places where you guys can get on the ice and you're going to be able to fish. And then when we go into Sunday, a lot of it's just going to depend on how much rain we get and what ends up happening with that ice. I highly doubt that we're going to lose all of this ice during this warm-up. I don't see any significant winds coming out of the wrong directions or anything. So what my guess is the places like the day sail or the main lake, They're probably not going to be walkable once we get into all that rain. It's just going to knock everything down. It's going to smooth it all out, and hopefully it'll set it up for the next freeze, which is coming right after this warm up. And that will firm everything up and smoothen it out quite a bit. And hopefully that'll set us up for the rest of the ice season out there. I don't see anything in that forecast that's going to take everything away from us on this warm-up. It's a short warm-up. We do have some rain coming, but like I said, I think it's just going to smooth out that rough stuff out on that main lake up on the north end by the raft and over there by the Metro Park. So boat launches, the docks were all still in at the state ramps. Don't know if they're going to leave them in there. Don't know if guys are going to try to get in there and break them up with their boats during this little warm-up that we got coming or not. But anyways, that's the report. One final reminder for you guys. If you're going to sign up for the Big Perch contest, it is going to sneak up on you really fast here. We're going to have sign-ups right up until the end of December. Then on January 1, the contest is going to start. So you're going to want to either go on the website and sign up, or you're going to have to come into the store and sign up for that Big Perch contest. So the free contest, multi-species contest, is already going. As you guys know, you've seen a lot of those fish coming in already. So that's the report. It's a very positive report. Having main lake ice this early in the season is like a bonus. It's very rare that we get main lake ice this early. It's not normally till we hit first week in January that we start to see these conditions. And hopefully we're going to be set up now for the ice fishing season ahead of us. We're going to have a little blip here, a little speed bump with this warm up. But hopefully once we get through that, we're going to set up and start making some thickness out there on the lake. And we'll be able to report to you guys on ice thicknesses in the next report that we do. So with that, be careful out there. Use that spud. Leave that auger at home, and we'll see you in the shop this weekend. Hey gang, if you like our content, hit the little subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified as soon as we put out new stuff.